Yeah, it is a huge concern in the Sahel in particular, and I also stated that in the Southern African region we are also not spared, as you are aware that we had to deploy the defense force to Mozambique in Delgado, Cabo Delgado, to help quell this growing extremism. But also in other parts of the continent, in particular the Sahel, is also fueled by the changing environmental conditions. And that's why we spoke about issues of climate change and climate financing. It's also an important resolution to the peace and security situation in the continent. The fact that less than 3% of the global finance on climate change goes to, in particular, the sub-Saharan Africa, it's impractical for us to respond to the climatic conditions that are changing every day. So the Paris Agreement must be honored and be implemented so that we can be able to mitigate the effects of climate change as a continent. And as you are aware, the El Nino effects are more pronounced in the Southern African region as we speak now. And this has to be mitigated as a matter of agency. 17% for the entire trading with the whole African continent. Obviously, the Africa Free Trade Agreement flagship program is an important platform to increase trade in the continent. And obviously, ourselves being at the SADC region, we need to start in SADC, take it up to more than 25% or 30 or more. Because obviously African integration will have to start in the core regional groups, ECOWAS, SADC, East Africa, and we're already doing so in the platform of SADC, but we need to see more. And this can be done through the one-stop border post flagship programs, which are now economic corridors, which enables the movement of goods across the continents, the Lobido corridor, investment in that infrastructure, both also road and the ports infrastructure. This will then enable trade in the continent, and that is where we need to emphasize more with regards to the development of infrastructure. Yeah, the UN Secretary General's report on critical minerals does show that Africa is well endowed with these minerals. In fact, most of them are found in the African continent, and that we should not miss the wave, the current wave as a continent through suffering from the resource curse, where we become an extractive continent. But we must be where value is added with the products, beneficiation in the continent, also aiding manufacturing, which will help in terms of economic growth and finding employment. But this needs the whole continent to speak in one voice with a clear critical mineral strategy by SADC and the African Union. Yeah, is that there is interconnectedness between economic growth, peace and stability, and security. So therefore, this conference is very important in that it's spearheading efforts for peace, which are a prerequisite for economic growth. And we think as a South African government, we support this initiative, and we are looking forward to see the outcomes, which must enable us to take forward the peace initiatives in the various parts of the continent, in the eastern part of the DRC, in Sudan in particular, with the very catastrophic humanitarian crisis in the world that must be responded to.